The rain poured over the dusty roads of Willow Creek as if the heavens themselves were weeping that day. Her name was Lydia May, and she was being sold. The man who bought her didn't come from the usual kind. He was one of the rough gamblers or the shadowy buyers who came to the underground auctions at night. He was a rancher Cole Danner, a quiet man in his 30s with sun-worn skin, a strong jaw, and eyes that looked like they'd seen too much pain to still believe in kindness. He came looking for horses, not people. But when he saw Lydiathan, frightened, labeled with a crude tag that read infertile worthless for breeding, something inside him broke. He didn't even know why he raised his hand. Maybe it was instinct. Maybe it was guilt. Maybe it was because for the first time in a long while he saw another soul as lost as his own. 500, he said quietly. The auctioneer laughed. For that one? She's damaged goods, rancher. Can't even bear children. But Cole didn't flinch. He dropped the money on the table and walked up to her, cutting the ropes from her wrists. Lydia didn't speak a word. She just stared at him, expecting the same cruelty she'd known all her life. The first few weeks on the ranch were silent. Lydia worked from dawn till dusk feeding horses, cleaning stalls, mending fences. She never complained, never smiled. Cole gave her space, speaking only when necessary. He'd lost his wife 3 years ago. Stillbirth had taken both her and their unborn child. Since then, he built walls around his heart taller than the mountains that surrounded his land. He didn't want to feel anything anymore. But every morning he noticed the way Lydia stopped by the barn before sunrise, whispering softly to the horses. They responded to her like they understood her pain. Even the wild Mustang one that no one could get close to stood calm when she approached. One morning he caught her singing. It was soft, broken, like she was afraid the wind would punish her for being happy. "You sing real pretty," he said, startling her. She jumped back, spilling the feed bucket. I'm sorry, sir. Won't happen again." Didn't say it was a bad thing. He knelt to help her pick up the grain. "You can sing here. Ain't no one to stop you." For the first time, she looked up at him not with fear, but with surprise. Weeks turned into months. Slowly, Lydia began to open up. She told him she'd been sold by distant relatives after her parents died in a fire. A doctor had once said she couldn't have children, something about damage from smoke and heat. That label had followed her ever since. No man wanted a barren wife, she said bitterly. Cole didn't say much, but he listened. Listening became something he looked forward to more than anything else. Then came the night the storm hit. Lightning tore through the sky, frightening the horses. One of the mares, Daisy, who was heavily pregnant, broke through the gate and bolted toward the river. Without hesitation, Lydia ran after her. By the time Cole caught up, Lydia was knee-deep in freezing water, holding Daisy's reins as the current threatened to pull them both under. "Let her go," Cole shouted. "She'll die," Lydia cried back. Cole jumped in after them, hauling both Lydia and the trembling horse to safety. They collapsed in the mud, soaked and shivering but alive. And that night, in the flickering light of the lantern, Cole saw something in her eyes that changed everything. She wasn't weak, she wasn't broken, she was brave. The next morning, something miraculous happened. Daisy gave birth to not one, but 2 healthy foals. The ranch had never seen twins before. Cole called the vet, who looked stunned. "This is a miracle," the vet said. "Twins are rare enough, but both alive and strong? That's something special." Lydia smiled faintly, stroking Daisy's mane. "She just needed someone to believe she could do it," she whispered. And in that moment, Cole realized something: she wasn't just talking about the horse. Over the following months, Lydia transformed. She laughed more. She helped run the ranch like it was her own. The workers respected her, even admired her strength. And Colwell, he started feeling something he thought had died with his wife. One evening he found Lydia in the barn again, singing softly to one of the newborn foals. He leaned against the doorframe, watching her. "You know," he said quietly, "when I bought you, I didn't know what I was doing. I thought I was saving you. Maybe it's the other way around." Lydia looked at him with tears in her eyes. "You gave me my life back, Cole. You made me believe I was worth something again." He stepped closer, gently brushing a strand of hair from her face. "You've always been worth something, Lydia. The world just got it wrong." A year later, The ranch had never been more alive. The land flourished, the horses thrived, and so did they. Lydia had become the heart of the place and of Cole's life. Then, one morning, the doctor came by to check on Lydia after she fainted while working. When he returned with the results, his hands trembled. "Mr. Danner," he said slowly, "you might want to sit down. Lydia's pregnant." Cole's heart nearly stopped. Lydia froze, covering her mouth with her hands as tears filled her eyes. "But that can't be," she whispered. "They said I couldn't." The doctor smiled. "Looks like they were wrong." Cole pulled her into his arms, holding her as she sobbed into his chest. All the years of pain, rejection, and shame melted away in that single moment. 9 months later, under the same wide-open sky where she'd once been sold like property, Lydia gave birth to a baby girl. They named her Hope, because that's what Lydia had given back, not just to herself, but to everyone around her. By the end, the message was clear. No label, no past, no cruel word from another person can define your worth. Sometimes all it takes is one act of kindness to heal a soul the world tried to break, and on a quiet ranch under the endless blue of a Texas sky, that's exactly what happened. Because they sold her as infertile, but the rancher discovered she was more life-giving than anyone he'd ever known.